Welcome back to Inside Texoma. We are talking with the Sheriff's Office, the Wichita County Sheriff's Office today, just kind of getting an inside look into the future of 2012 and I guess the year of 2012 that we're in, and just kind of what's in store and what we can expect. And, you know, talked a lot about what's going to be taking place for citizens. And last time we had you on, Sheriff Duke, you talked a lot about, you know, whenever you became the sheriff, it was very important to you to have a proactive step to getting the criminals off the streets, of course, and the drug dealers behind bars. And we've seen a lot of that. And how is that going to continue, or how are you hoping to even increase that in 2012?
More drug arrests are coming. We do a lot of traffic stops now where we do have the same amount of drugs that we're picking off the street, but more in-depth investigations which could lead to more bigger drug type stings, or to just more drug lab enforcement to target those individuals. We have a lot of them that have been locked up. We still have drug labs, not as prevalent big ones like we used to see, but there are other ways of methods now, a newer way to make the methamphetamine, which are in smaller amounts, which means less activity or smells associated with that, as well as enforcement on DWIs. We've been very strong on DWI enforcement, and going after the people. You know, for every one drunk we stop, one intoxicated driver, that's potentially a life we've just saved. Yeah. And so for our statistics for 2011, we actually arrested 211 DWIs, which was down from 249 from the year before. So it's not so much, I think some people being more educated. They know that the Sheriff's Office is out there and they will stop you and you will be arrested, especially with the cooperation of the District Attorney's Office with a no refusal weekends where we have blood warrants, where we get a signed warrant, we take their blood, and you will get convicted. And they will do something. The District Attorney's Office will prosecute you for it. So not only that, but going after some more of our violent criminals that are wanted on warrants, hunting those fugitives down, as well as people on parole violations that obviously had a chance to get out of prison and try to straighten up and fly right and obey the rules. They didn't want to do that, so track those people down, as well as child molesters that we may have loose that are wanted.
And is that basically just teaming up with the deputies that you have and making that more...
Make it work.
Making it work this year.
Yeah, we haven't had an increase in deputy sheriffs, for field deputies, we call them, to work on the streets in several years. Everything we've done with the same amount of deputies we've had since I took over as sheriff, and we've done it very effectively to manage our people, manage the areas of the county, as well as enforcement in all cities in the county as well, not just inside the city limits of Wichita Falls, but all the communities. So it's come together real good, and we have a great bunch of guys that work at the Sheriff's Office, and guys and gals, and they're very proactive, and they love their jobs, and they love to go after it, and it's just, we're excited for the next year and keep on building what we've done.
Absolutely. You know, you talk a lot about, we're talking about the drugs and getting those drugs off the street, and sometimes maybe many wonder, what is the drug we're seeing on the streets nowadays? What's the drug that kind of seems to be a problem in our community?
Well, marijuana is still there. It's just an everyday type thing. But we also still see the methamphetamine, or the crystal meth. That's more popular because it's coming more out of Mexico with the drug cartels. It's being pushed up further through Texas. Then we also have the crack cocaine, which is prevalent in certain areas of town still, as well as cocaine. But some of the newer stuff we're seeing more heroin now that's coming up here. And that's alarming, because we never used to have that type of problem with heroin up here, but it's becoming just another drug of choice that people demand and are looking for, and it's just as highly as addictive as the cocaine and the methamphetamine, but it's probably more deadlier. But the methamphetamine has devastating effects on the body, which causes cancers and things as well. So it's all bad either way you look at it, but that's what we're seeing more of.
It's more of the heroin.
You're seeing a little more heroin, but the methamphetamines and the cocaine, crack cocaine, is still here.
And that often leads to, kind of going back to the problem of identity theft and more burglaries and stuff, which goes hand in hand with why it's so important for the new programs that you have lined up, correct?
Right. That is correct. And one of the things that we want to do when we start these neighborhood watch groups, we're going to educate them. It's not like we're just going to go out and say, this is your neighborhood watch group, here you go. We're going to hopefully have meetings with them, do education on what to look for as far as recognizing drugs, what to recognize someone that may be in the neighborhood selling drugs. What do they normally do, how they act, what kind of how do they drive down the street, or how to educate their children that are in school. All of this is going to be part of our neighborhood area crime watch that we want to do.
Kind of just tying it all together to
have exactly. The more education we can get to the citizens, the better informed they'll be. They'll know more how to watch out for these kind of things.
Is there any reason, or do you know, I mean, why you had mentioned that it comes up, the flow, you know, of those drugs and maybe even new drugs flows up from Mexico and kind of makes its way up. So is that kind of the reason you think maybe we're seeing an increase in heroin stuff? It's just kind of flowing up?
Most likely, yeah, because the cartels are working as hard as they can to push more drugs in America, and it's only because Americans demand. If we didn't have the demand, they wouldn't have the drugs up here. But we have that happen, and so as long as it demands here in our country, and the borders are not sealed off better than what they are now, which in my opinion has not been, the government should be doing more. It's my personal opinion. But the law enforcement, the county law enforcement, state agencies doing all they can do, even with the Custom Border Patrol down there. They're doing all they can do, but it still comes through, whether it's over through the highways or come across the deserts and get to the highways to pick up points. We're still seeing that push that's going north. And stuff that comes right through Wichita Falls off 287, now 44, 281, and US 82. It's coming through here every day.
Which just makes it harder because now, yeah, we have to. It has to be getting off the streets in our area. So
it's coming through here because it's going somewhere else as well.
Yeah.
So that's why you see the district attorney's office has a unit, a white unit that the people see on the highway. That's actually an interdiction unit on the highway searching for drugs on the highway. I heard somebody on a radio show the other day talking about why is the district attorney, why aren't they prosecuting cases instead of the driving around the highways looking for somebody to stop? That's a police officer for the district attorney's office, one of their drug investigator deputy or officers. He's a police officer. He's not an attorney out there trying to stop somebody to prosecute him. Those guys are in the courthouse. That guy in that white truck is looking for, and he stopped anybody for speeding because that's how they start looking into finding where the drugs are and who's in the vehicle. That's how we do the same thing with sheriff's units with our radar units we use in traffic stops that we do. We find out who they are and where they're going and what's in the vehicle.
So if something like that is confiscated or they're put to an end, then maybe that's less drugs in our
somewhere,
community?
Either our community or going to wherever it's going to. You know, every bit you take from them is a dent back toward the cartels, the drug people. It could be just a dealer out of Dallas who's seen this stuff up here, and that's happening pretty often. You know, you took his product, so that's not going to get on the street. And a lot of these people talk. All these people talk about when they get caught, they want to blame it on somebody else. So it leads it on down the road back where it come from. That's what we like to work on.
How do you stay encouraged? You know, just whenever you see so much, you hear so much of them coming through, just keep going through, right? And
you got to keep fighting it. You don't want to give up and become just a relaxed law enforcement or liberal where you just let anything happen. You know, and we're not going to do that. You know, we're going to stand and fight our ground. This is our country. This is our state. These are our communities. These are our children that are ingest this stuff, or if not our neighbors. And we need to stop that to keep that poison from flowing through our communities and hurting people, because it hurts everybody. And if one person has it in the family, and that person most likely steals from the family, then he's stealing from the neighbors. He's not stealing because he wants to buy a TV. He's stealing because he's going to trade it for dope. And so financial crimes are up because of that. They're funding the drug market. So.
Well, we appreciate all that you do to keep our community safe, because you're absolutely right. It does affect everyone. So, well, we have more Inside Texoma with the Sheriff's Office after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we are talking with the Wichita County Sheriff's Office just about the year of 2012 and everything they have in store this year. And if you can both just share kind of some final thoughts on what you would like to see this year, or maybe what citizens at home can do to be of assistance to the Sheriff's Office this year.
Well, basically, I just want to encourage the citizens to get involved in the Citizens Academy. When we start the Neighborhood Watch, I encourage them to get involved in it. We work for you, but we need your help. And this is one way that you can get involved and make a difference in your community.
What about you, Sheriff?
Well, the biggest thing I'd like to say to the community is to do get involved with your community, know exactly what's going on. This is, like Melvin just said, this is Wichita County Sheriff's Office. It's not mine. I was just blessed enough to be elected to lead these men and women serve. And most importantly is if you need something from the Sheriff's Office, call us. We're always here to help. Don't care where you live in Wichita County, we will help. But the main thing is to be aware of your surroundings, what's going on. We know how many robberies, bad things that are going on. Be aware of surroundings and be safe. And please let us help you for any chance we can to stop some of the things that we're going after every day. And we thank everybody for allowing us to serve you.
Well, I appreciate you both taking so much time out of your day to speak to Texoma this morning just about looking ahead into this year in 2012. And I know we'll be speaking with them throughout the year as you know, some of those other things get kicked off, including the Neighborhood Watch, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that. And once again, thanks again. We appreciate it. And thank you, Texoma, for joining us this morning. As always, we will see you back here next Sunday morning for another look inside Texoma.